As an animator, I've always been kind of embarrassed of my drawing skills or lack of drawing skills. Most of my friends who are animators could actually draw like the animators of old, and that was something that felt like I should be able to do. I'm a 3D animator, so I don't technically have to, but it's certainly a useful skill. And it's just, I don't know, I just wanted to know how to draw and do it well, to get my ideas out like that. And I was frustrated that I couldn't. I just read a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I decided if I could combine daily ritual and habit with drawing and be less focused on perfectionism or big art pieces, I might actually get somewhere. Just the repetition of start, finish, start, finish, start, finish for 365 days. Now this was no small task and a big commitment for me because I've got little kids, I've got a day job, I've got all the other busyness that life brings. And on top of that, my day job is a creative job. So taking on this daily task of one way or another finding that time to draw, it was a little bit scary. It was a little bit scary. And so this is what I did to make it feasible and what I found out after the end of that year. Now, I mentioned Atomic Habits. The idea is that if you can do something consistently, it's far better than doing something sporadically but with a large time investment. So say I invested 2 hours once a month and instead invested 5 minutes every day. I would get much further in those 5 minutes every day, even if you took whatever 5 minutes every day in a month adds up to and did it all in one day. It just doesn't have the same effect of consistency. Consistency can get you so much further. Your brain stays in it. You get that repetition, and it just works, or at least it works for me. And I've noticed that with other little things that I would try with my writing, and it's another video I'm going to be making. I wrote an entire science fiction, like 400-page novel in 9 months with a newborn, just by applying Atomic Habits. And it's, yeah, if your brain works like mine, it works wonders. So to make a drawing a day feasible, I decided to really limit myself. I decided to go analog. And this is what I did it with. A simple notebook and some pencil and pens. I have all the art tools, digital in the world that I could want, and I didn't use any of them because it can do too much with them. I needed to limit myself to paper and no undo button. And that's really hard for me to lose the undo button. So hard, in fact, that I would like physically reach for it while drawing if I made a mistake, like a muscle twitch that I couldn't control. It went away eventually, but it was really hard. But that limitation was the only way to make this feasible for me. And honestly, I think it was a more useful drawing exercise to just have to roll with it and accept mistakes and bad drawings and just keep going. So a big part of what would hang me up with drawing practice before is, you get out your book, you get your art supplies out, and what do you draw? You hit that wall. Well, I could try and imagine something. I had this picture in mind. You start to do, oh, that's not coming out. Well, I was playing, I could draw, well, and you waste all your time and creative energy to try to figure out what to draw. If you take that element out, it saves you a bunch of time and makes daily drawing much more feasible. So here's what I did. I treated this like a journal. I drew something I'd seen that day. I drew something from a show I'd watched. It doesn't matter, but when you can just pull it from the day, it also adds this extra emotional connection where you can flip back through and be like, oh yeah, that was happening that day. Oh, I remember that. Like, it makes it easier to be consistent because it also feels like it's telling a story of your journey throughout that year. And if you can add that emotional connection to the habits, it makes it that much easier to keep going. So the specific tools I used was, like I said, this notebook, and then this case, which I'll link below, that I really like, that could hold just pens and some watercolor brushes, because I didn't want to get like the kind of thing I'd have to use markers, but I wanted to have some options. I didn't want to just do straight pencil and ink. I wanted to be able to have the option to fill things, and you don't have to do that. That was an added extra complication for myself, I guess. But It simplified things. I could throw this in a bag, and I could have easily kept this to just a pencil. Like, this was more complicated than it would have to be, but I found this was a good balance for me. So what does this look like? I'm gonna hold this up so you can see. So this was a bit of an evolution. I started off, you can see on the first page, and it's just kind of random stuff. It was, you know, New Year's, around holiday. My kids were watching Grinch a lot. Some Star Wars stuff. I think that was supposed to be Alan Wake. Olaf, just a lot of the media that I was watching at the time. Resident Alien. That was just like the drink that was in front of me. Samurai Jack Eyes. It really is just all over the place. As you can see, I was doing these boxes because I just felt like that helped me frame things. I knew that I would have enough space if I used a specific number of blocks per day, and that was fine. But I noticed something as I went, that I started to experiment. Like, I never do landscapes, but let's see if we can get this to focus. But this one I was doing, which I think it was on Easter or something, because it was the Jordan River. I can't remember now, but it came out pretty well. I've never done landscapes. I was still experimenting with the watercolor markers, and I was pleasantly surprised. I would have things come out where I was like, huh, that kind of worked. I feel like I'm learning. I'm gonna try this technique. I would play with sketching it with the pencil, and then going over with the watercolor markers, and then kind of adding detail over the shapes that had come with that with the ink pen. And I was just pleasantly surprised. I think that was the biggest takeaway, is like doing this every day, knowing that tomorrow you're gonna do a drawing, the next day you're gonna do a drawing, was just I won't even call them happy accidents. It was just practice and consistency, and it just came together. And I would have drawings that I was happy with. I would have some that I wasn't. Sometimes, well, let's see. Sometimes it would just be random stuff. Like this page here. It's like, these are just like, I guess kind of clouds, kind of a black hole thing, like some stuff from movies, but a lot of this was like, that page was less successful. This one is probably one of my favorites. One page here is Star Wars and one is Alien. I think, watching a bunch of Star Wars, and I was working on an Aliens game at the time, so that was always on my brain. And yeah, just experimenting with things, seeing how it came out, playing. As you can see here, I'd done different shapes, different frames, and I started messing with that more, just because that changed the composition. And then I'd go back to just squares, but I started going with like the borderless squares, just to see how that would look. And that was what I ended up sticking with for most of the rest of it. But it just started to flow. And the more I did it, I wouldn't even say I was just suddenly good at drawing, but I lost that feeling of being afraid to make bad drawings. And I think that's my biggest gain from the whole thing. You can see it in the drawings when I would hit seasons where I just didn't have time, and I would kind of cheat. So like this one here, let's see here, that bunch of tiny cubes making one drawing, that was like a month. It was like a month where I was crunching on Alien, and so it was like a mosaic. And that's okay. Like, you gotta be kind to yourself when you're doing this. It's like you're being consistent, you're doing the thing, and that's what I decided. So yeah, if you hit a span where you get behind or whatever, do a mosaic. Like, it'll help you catch up. It'll take the pressure off yourself. Like, try and do a drawing if you can, but hey, stuff happens. So just be gracious. The consistency is far more important than sticking that like everything has to be a masterpiece, or you have to fall within like very specific rule set or whatever. And then yeah, then I finished up at Christmas, nice nativity, And I made it. I did 365 drawings. Can't really see it. I pencil numbered each one. And I've got probably enough room in this book to do another year. I'm taking a break this year because it was a time commitment with kids. When you're working on stuff like this, it's kind of an either or. Like, you can have one creative pursuit at a time. And so that was the one that I chose for last year, but I really wanted to buckle down on finishing my sci-fi novel, getting that published this year, which I've done. It's going up June 1st, and I'll be doing more videos about that if you're interested. But yeah, all in all, it was a successful experiment, and I would recommend to anybody who feels like they're either maybe stuck in their drawing skills or wants to get started, read Atomic Habits, it's awesome, and then just draw. Just pick a window, maybe it's just a month, it doesn't have to be a whole year, but do something consistently, do it daily, whatever the amount of time that you're dedicating is, and see where it gets you. I guarantee you will notice a difference if you let yourself be consistent. You almost can't help but grow in some facet or another, because ultimately there's no way around just investing time and practice into stuff like this, especially when it comes to art. You can read all the books, you can watch all the YouTube videos, and those are great. Those can help you jump ahead, but you still have to get down and do the work. Nothing's gonna skip past that, and that's just the reality. But I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed this, stick around, subscribe, blah, 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 and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.